Okay, real quick before I get into the video, I just want to show you some proof so I don't have anyone in the comments that's like, oh, you're a scammer, you didn't actually make that much money. Here's some bank statements real quick. Let me hide my account number so none of you guys can scam me, because that would be ironic, wouldn't it? Anyway, here you can see that statement there. Money in, what is that? 104,000 a month. Let's see this one. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to blur my account number and all this other, but 102. Let's see, another one that's 102. That might be the same statement. Oops. God damn it, this is gonna be a pain in the ass to blur. But 99 in there. Obviously the withdrawals, part of that's like investments. I'm not just blowing all this money. But just so you guys know, I just wanted to show you that, so you can't call me a scammer. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so I've made a lot of money using the business model that you might have heard of that's been popularized as growth operating. I've worked with people like Cardinal Mason and Sebastian Georgiou, Sebastian Escueda, Kevin Packman, Ecom Side Hustles, Flips for Miles, KT Hustles, Benjamin Seda. All of these people that are selling information online. And basically the idea that you're a growth operator means you take somebody like that who has a big audience of people online who want to buy something from them, who are interested in their products, who trust them, they know, like, and trust them, and you partner up with them and you help them sell something to their audience, and then you get a piece of it. That's basically what I've done. But I wouldn't consider myself a growth operator in the way that it's been popularized and positioned. And I also want to talk about first, how I got here, and second, why I think becoming a growth operator as a complete beginner is probably one of the worst business models that you can try and that you can start when you have zero experience. If you do have some experience and you've had a client and you're working in some kind of service-based business, it can be a really good model. But if you're a complete beginner, becoming a growth operator is really dumb. And these are just my 2 cents. I'm not trying to take a shot at anybody. I'm just talking about the way that I see the market and the way it looks, you know, being on the inside of a lot of these big info product businesses with people that are creators, that are like the best creators that you could work with as a growth operator. I've worked with those guys, and I'll tell you firsthand, they're not gonna work with a complete beginner. So first, if you don't know me, my name's Ben Bader. I've been in the marketing agency space for the past 3 years almost. I started a local lead gen SOMA about 3 years ago, where I was working with basketball trainers, running their Facebook ads and setting up Go High Level for them. And that's how I kind of got my feet wet in the agency world and working with clients. And then after a while doing that, I started working with some of the bigger personal brands in basketball training. So these were guys that had hundreds of thousands of followers, and I started doing everything for them. So I was writing all their copy, all of their emails, I was running their ads, I was building their funnels. And that's when I originally became a growth operator. I was working with like 4 or 5 of the biggest names in basketball, and they were paying me a few $1,000s a month to do all this stuff for them. All in, I was making probably 15, 20 grand a month, and this was about 2 years ago. But I was doing exactly what's kind of described as this growth operator business model. I would go to somebody that has a big audience and say, hey, I can help you make more money from this audience. I'd partner up with them, run all of the operations, run all of the marketing, so all they had to do was post more content, we'd sell more of their program, and then we'd all make more money. And that was that. And then after I had just worked with the bigger basketball trainer personal brands for a while, I learned a lot. I became a really good copywriter. I knew how to build funnels. I knew how to run ads. I just knew a lot about how info product businesses and coaching businesses worked in general. So I was like, okay, I can apply this in any industry. So the most common industry that you see people selling information in is usually how to make money online. It's the here in my garage type ads. It's the, oh, here's how I made $100,000 on Airbnb. It's the drop shippers. It's the guys that are teaching high ticket sales and copywriting and Amazon FBA and TikTok Shop. It's that type of person who is the majority of the creators that you're gonna be partnering up with as a growth operator. So I started working with a lot of those guys, and I was doing the same kind of thing for them. I was writing all of their copy, I was scripting their VSLs, building their funnels, helping manage all of the systems and their sales team and everything that goes in to an info product business, to a coaching business. Because it's definitely not as simple as just like, oh, set up a school group and forget about it. That's just not how it fucking works, bro. And if you do find success like that for a little bit, it's gonna be short-lived, because that's just not a good product. A bunch of little idiots running around in a school group, that's like daycare. Like, people don't wanna fucking deal with that type of shit, and it's just not a solid model. If you're gonna really scale a coaching business, you need a lot of course content. You need different coaches in there. You need different offers and one-on-one coaching. And there's all of these moving pieces that a school group can't fix. So like the general model is, oh, partner up with somebody that has a big audience, help them set up a school group and take 50%. That's just not very realistic. It's just not that simple. And anybody that has a big audience, that has people that actually want to buy from them, that'll be worth working with as a growth operator, they're not going to go with a complete beginner, and they're going to be able to see through the, oh, I'll set up your community and all you have to do is make content. It's just not that simple. They understand how valuable their audience is, and they're going to come and work with somebody like me or someone else who's more experienced in the space because they actually want to do it right. They don't want to give 50% of their income to some little ass kid who attended a webinar and was like, I'm going to be a growth operator. Again, I'm not taking shots at anybody, but that's just the reality of it. So like I said earlier, I've worked with a lot of the biggest names in the space, and now I'm in a position where I'll usually charge them anywhere from 10 to 15K and get 10 to 20% of the revenue that we generate for them. Even now, as like one of the go-to guys in this space, I'm not getting anywhere close to 50%. That's just a crazy fucking number that doesn't happen. But generally we'll work with anywhere from 5 to 10 clients at a time, all of which are paying us around 10 to even 40K a month on those rev shares. So when we have a client that makes 400, 500K a month through our efforts, then they usually end up paying us 40, 50K a month just from one client. But again, this is me having multiple years in the industry and having my own personal brand and being well connected. Like, this didn't happen overnight. It's not like I woke up and I just knew a bunch about the coaching businesses and the info product industry to where I was getting those top tier clients. And most of the time you'll have to work your way up to the point where you can work with those people who have that strong audience like you're looking for, because that's the biggest variable. You could have somebody who has the best offer in the world, and you could be the best growth operator in the world. You could be the best copywriter in the world and write them a banger VSL and a great, really good sales page and really good email marketing, but none of it matters if they don't have traffic and they don't have people that already know, like, and trust them, that want to buy from them. And again, the people that are in that position with that really strong audience, they understand how valuable that is, and they want to work with somebody who is gonna be able to bring more value to the table and not just kind of eat off of their plate. So my first biggest growth operator win, the way that I really got to those 6-figure months, was from one client. I had probably 6 or 7 clients at the time, but one client made up about half of my income. Plus the results I was getting with him, I was talking about that on Twitter, so that was bringing me more and more business. So I was making like 40K a month from this one client, and then another 60 or 70 from business that I was basically getting as a result of the results we were getting from that one client. So like, once you get that first banger case study, then a world of opportunity unlocks. But that's really hard to do as a beginner growth operator, and I think there's an easier way to get to that point rather than just trying to start out as like a full stack growth operator. And that's what I wanted to talk about next, which is what would I do if I was completely just first starting out and I wanted to end up back in the position that I'm in now. I wouldn't start as a growth operator because there's just too many things to learn. There's too many different skills and there's too many moving pieces in a coaching business, and it's not as simple as just going in and setting up a school. So I would start with one thing, which is copywriting. Because let's say you go and you take a month or two to get proficient at the skill of copywriting. You study other people's emails, you subscribe to their list, or reading sales pages, and you're practicing on your own. Maybe you buy a course, or you figure out a way to start to get good. You read books and whatever. And then you go to somebody who has a big audience online and they're selling coaching, and you realize that their emails are kind of shitty, and you subscribe to their list, you're reading their emails, and you start sending them a pitch in their DMs. It's like, hey, I've been reading your emails, I read this one and I noticed this one thing that I think you could do better. You take the time to actually pull out a Google Doc and write a sample email for them, or a couple. And you do this with a bunch of people until you finally get a client. And this can be somebody who already has that big, strong personal brand, and they're already making multiple 6 figures a month by selling coaching, but you get in there because you're just solving one problem for them. You're just solving email copywriting. And then once you get in there, that's when the world of opportunity unlocks to you. Because that's a much easier pitch than, hey, I'll take over your entire business. Because think about it, if somebody already has a strong personal brand, and maybe they're making money selling coaching already, maybe they're not, but either way, you going in there as a complete stranger to them and trying to take over their entire business, trying to tell them, hey, I'm gonna redo all of your landing pages, and I'm gonna build you a new community, and I'm gonna write all of your emails and do all that kind of stuff for them. That's just a lot. Even for us, it's hard for me to go into somebody's business and completely take over everything right away. You wanna kind of slowly earn their trust. and starting with one thing like email marketing or like writing short form scripts for them or like writing a VSL, just starting with one thing and then building that trust with them and then saying, hey, I've been writing your emails now for 3 months. I noticed that you need a new sales page as well, or you need a new funnel, or you need a new VSL, or your sales team needs more management. Then you have the trust because you've been working with them for a little bit, and you can start to solve all of these other gaps in their business. And so let's say you take that first client that you got, that you're writing emails for, and then you start doing those other things for them, and they start paying you a little bit more. Maybe eventually you get on a rev share, and now they're paying you $6,000 a month retainer plus 10% of the revenue that you're generating through email and through the new funnel VSL that you built them. And by the way, VSL just stands for video sales letter. That's like whenever you go to somebody's funnel or somebody's website and there's a video at the top that's trying to sell you on booking a call or buying a product, that's what a video sales letter is. But now you are directly contributing to more revenue, so they're paying you a percentage, and let's say you make them $50,000 through your efforts plus that $6,000 a month retainer. Now you're making 11K just from one client. Plus you're getting a really, really good case study because you are making somebody more money. You're learning more about the info product space and how coaching businesses work as a whole. And now you can go to other clients or other prospects and be like, hey, I'm working with this guy who's a credible person who's making a lot of money and I'm helping them make more money. Can I do the same thing for you? And they're gonna be way more likely to say yes now versus, again, if you were just a complete beginner and you're like, hey, can I take over your entire business? I wanna be your growth operator. So if I was a complete beginner, that's exactly what I would do. I would learn copywriting, go try to get copywriting clients, and then once I get a client, do everything I can for them to get the best results possible, and I'd try to go above and beyond and fix other things in their business so that they trust me more and they allow me to take over more pieces of their business. Then I become a growth operator, and then I can use that case study to go and get more clients, and then next thing you know, I'm making $1 gazillion a month. And that's basically what I've done to end up in the position that I'm in now. I was working with the online basketball trainers as their growth operator, and I started stacking more skills and offering more services to them, and then I took that and applied it to a different industry, and the people in that industry were making more money, and I got 1 or 2 really, really good clients, so I was able to scale with them. That gave me a case study. They were also paying me a lot of money, and boom, that's how I ended up in a position where I'm making $100,000 a month inside of my own business, and I've been able to scale while working with some of the coolest people and the biggest personal brands online. That's the blueprint I followed, and if I was starting all over again, that's what I would do. So long story short, there you have it. That's how I built my $100,000 a month growth operating business. Don't love that term. But anyway, if you want to learn copywriting, and again, where I would start if I was trying to eventually become a growth operator like myself, hit the link in the description and you can watch the video that I have in there. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Like, subscribe, comment, share this with your grandma. Peace.